I am celebrating Chebukati's death. Chebukati should just go and rot in hell. Kama hell exist, Chebukati should be in hell right now. Anafaa kwa mbeba kuni zake, ama sijui anafaa kwa mchoma wana taya za gari, ama watamchoma sijui na whatever gas watamwekea wamchome. That man deserves nothing but hellfire. Mimi na celebrate death ya Chebukati. Hata mngekuwa around hapa tungechinja ng'ombe, tungechinja mambuzi na kila kitu celebrate the death of that evil Bukusu man from Trans Nzoia. That man alitupeleka through hell. That man, mtu anapita kura, si tunapiga kura hivi, anaenda na announce hivi, anapewa pesa. Okay, sawa, acha akule hizo pesa saizi. Hizo pesa anazikulia wapi saizi? Wanamzika nazo. We are celebrating Chebukati's death. Chebukati was a terrible, terrible human being, and we're not going to lie about it. Tusidanganyane hapa, tukubali Chebukati was a terrible human being. Chebukati hata alibetray wenzake wenye alikuwa na work nao kwa IEBC. Some of them had to flee. Kuna mwingine mpaka aliuawa. Sisi tunapiga kura hivi, tunasema hatutaki huyu, wewe unaweka huyo mtu. Tunasema tunataka huyu, unamnyang'anya position, unaweka mtu mwingine. Chebukati should go and rot in hell. Kwanza I think wanasema alikuwa mgonjwa, alikuwa in pain, akakufa. I think that pain was not enough for him. Chebukati ni sijui angemuinject madawa tu gani, akaetu mahali akipiga tu nduru, mwili kiwaka tu yote for all those years until he dies. Chebukati ni msata angetolewa macho, ama sijui angemtoa ulimi wa mhang. Like, Chebukati deserved the worst. Because you can imagine people who died after the post-election. You can imagine, like, denying millions of Kenyans their democratic right. We are voting this person. We want our country to be like this. Then wherever unaenda, you announce otherwise. Chebukati should just go in hell, mazee. Mimi na celebrate kifa Chebukati. Like, inafaa tupige sherehe moja kubwa sana in Kenya saizi. You know, we've been lying to ourselves, not to ourselves. Tumekuwa tukidanganya tukiambia when a man dies, ati you just celebrate the good things that he did on earth, alafu ati vitu zingine atuongei, ati you don't talk ill about a dead person. That is a dead person, but he was an evil human being. We're gonna say it. Nyinyi watu wazee wenye mko in 40s and 50s ndio mnakonga na zile ujinga za kusema ati yo just wishing Mel rest in peace. Our generation is different. You mess with us? Sisi hatukusamei. Na tuko na chuki na Chebukati even in death. Tunamchukia even in death. Mnasema oh sijui be kind on them, sijui the family is mourning and whatever. The family knew. Family yake ilijua Chebukati was a terrible human being, and a terrible human being has died. We have to celebrate. That's true. Ni kama tu saizi Ruto akikufa. Ruto saizi akikufa tutapiga sherehe Kenya mzima. Tutapiga sherehe kwanza sijui wiki 3 ama mwaka mzima yote tutapiga sherehe Ruto akikufa. That's a terrible human being that atutaki hata like yo. Hata kuna wasenye Ruto akipanda ndege tunakaa hivi tunaangalia tunasema hii ndege hii bana. Si pilot afanye jambo. Pilot afanye jambo bana, Pilot afanye something bana. Kufia wa Kenya, die for Kenyans. Pilot fanya something bwana. Huu msee asonge, you know? Like kuna tu wase wenye like wametufikisha mbali, like wametupush. And if saying the truth and saying what we feel for those people is being evil, then I'm evil. Nimekubali. Lakini there are some people we celebrate their death for sure. We are celebrating Chebukati's death. Saizi kama Kenyans. He was a terrible, terrible human being from Trans Nzoia. I am a Bukusu, I'm a Luya. I don't want anything to be in association with Chebukati. Mtu hata kwanza msianze kuniambia Chebukati ni Mluya mwenzako, sijui ni Bukusu mwenzako. Mimi sitaki hiyo ujinga kusikia. Chebukati was a terrible human being, and I wish him nothing but the worst. Hellfire imchome. Sasa alipewa zile billions. Where are those billions right now? Ama mamilioni. Where are they right now? Basi azikwe nazo, wamweke kwa casket nazo, enda mzike nazo azispend kwa hell. Chebukati was like mnawanga umetufanyia vitu hapa hivi mkidhani like you will not die, si ndio? Mnatuibia, mnachukua pesa zetu, mnatunyanyasa, mnafanya kila kitu mkidhani you will be on earth forever. mtakufa kama tu sisi vile tutakufa. Be a good human being. Ukipata nafasi cheo yoyote mahali, use it well. Please, use it well. Usidhani ati you'll be there forever. No. Kivutu alienda. Ndio Chebukati ameenda. And all these people wenye wametumika kwa kunyang'anya watu, also wenye wametumika wote kwa kunyang'anya wase democratic right yao, kunyanyasa watu wote. They deserve nothing but hell. And even in countries like China, watu corrupt wanakuanga wanahangiwa mapema. Get rid of those people. I'm really celebrating Chebukati's death. Nilikuwa nasikia Chebukati akaisi unasema tu Mungu wangu chukua huyu aende. Sasa tuko na list yetu. Kuna William mwingine alikufa huko tukasema Mungu. Si huyu William ndo tulitaka. But anyway, at least umechukua pia ni ile group lakini si William tuliitisha. Kuna William tunataka aende. Na maombi yetu vile tumelia uchungu, vile tunanyayaso hivi, Mungu hatatuacha. Very soon. Tutapiga sherehe nyingine kubwa sana. Nimeenda.
So muone hii mambo ya Chebukati venye kama jenga. Sasa tunaomboleza.
Tunaomboleza lakini tunaomboleza kiinje, kindani wajalio tunafurahia.
Tunaomboleza hiki.
May your soul rest in peace, Wafula Chebukati.
Pole sana. Kando na haya matanga ya hapa ya Wendi, leo pia tumempoteza ndugu yetu Wafula Chebukati. Mumesema akufe? Sasa kile nataka niseme ni kwamba wakati huu ambao bwana Chebukati ametuacha, tuataka, sababu tuna nafasi ya kihistoria kuleta a better IEBC.
Matanga ni kama ni ya Chebukati imenitosha nini niongezee chakula hapa.
Watu wako wengi kwa line nini?
Sasa hiki kidogo unaniwekea matanga ni kama ni ya Chebukati.
Ni hapa tunajua ni ya Chebukati. God have mercy upon us.
One of the things I want to bring out to you is that yes, it's true the late Wafula Chebukati was unwell. He was diagnosed with the brain cancer. It's called glioblastoma, fourth level of cancer in April 2023. Because of the stage in which the cancer was, the doctors recommended that he needed to undergo an immediate surgery. And the family, having explored many other options for that medical attention, he was taken to Germany. And he underwent an operation which was very successful. The tumor was removed. And he was in Germany up to the month of July of 2023. He came back. And when he came back, many of you will remember that he resumed his public life. And if you remember, from July 2023 up to the end and a bit part of the early 2024, he addressed very many international forums on matters elections. And he was invited to various forums, having successfully conducted the Kenyan elections and having become a very respected authority within the matters elections. During that period, he also started writing his memoirs. He started doing research. He was back actively to his game of golf. I remember I had several rounds of golf with him at Karen Country Club. Come the month of April 2024, it was discovered that the tumor had recurred. And because of that, he had to go back to Germany and underwent a second successful operation where the tumor was removed again. He was in Germany until the month of August 2024. He came back home, having undergone a successful operation. came back home. He went back to his duties, back to his family. He was a farmer, so he could visit his farm in Kitale. Unfortunately, in December 2024, while going for a checkup in hospital, it was discovered that the tumor had recurred again. And he was in hospital from mid-December up to early January this year. When he was discharged, he came back home as the families considered whether to explore possibilities, and as they consulted widely with the doctors and experts, whether it was necessary to undergo a third operation or what other advice would be there in terms of managing that condition. So he went back to hospital on the 12th of February for bi-monthly routine checkup so that the doctors could assess the situation and advise him. When he went back to hospital on the 12th of February, the doctors were of the view that he needed to be admitted. He had some problems with his chest. So he was admitted on 12th. He was in hospital. On the 15th of February, he was taken to the ICU. He was in the ICU from the 15th to the 20th of February, when the family received a call after midnight indicating that the late Wafula Chebukati had suffered a cardiac arrest. Now the widow, with the brother-in-law, the 3 sons and myself, or his 2 sons, yeah, the daughter was not there, his 2 sons, we went to hospital. And when we got to hospital, the information we were given then that the doctors had made an attempts to resuscitate him that were not successful, and he passed on at 11:35 that night.
Bunge, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BAV. This is Bunge Audio Visual. So, welcome to today's episode, and today we're actually going to break down on the mixed reactions following the death of the former IEBC chairman, that is Wafula Chebukati. While his family and a handful of close friends are actually mourning, we're able to see a significant section of Kenyans are actually taken to the streets and social media to celebrate his demise. But the question of the day is, why is this happening? So this is another opportunity to dive into reasons behind this unusual reaction after the demise of the former IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati. So, person Dasema, many Kenyans actually view Chebukati as a symbol of electoral betrayal, accusing him of rigging the 2022 presidential elections. And according to the widespread claims, he allegedly accepted bribes and went ahead to announce falsified election results despite 4 out of 6 IEBC commissioners disputing them. And to the public, this act was unforgivable, as it was seen as the moment that sealed the country's fate in terms of economic decline and political instability. For those celebrating Chebukati's death is seen as a form of justice, albeit delayed, and many blame him for the current struggles Kenyans are actually facing, including high living costs, corruption, and failed leadership. Then we've also seen the videos memes wanatengeneza online. They've been circulating online, and we've been able to see groups of people chanting and dancing and openly declaring that they have no sympathy for the falling electoral chief. And some would argue that that his decisions directly impacted millions of lives, and for that they can never forgive the late Wafula Chebukati. Vile mwana huyo boy alikuwa anasema, I've seen Chebukati vile alikuwa na behave vibaya. He was supposed to announce this person, but he ended up announcing this guy. Unaona, I don't want to mention names, but by the look of things, people are very, very happy because Wafula Chebukati is no more. But for me, I'll say that there is a statement there is a guy actually made. There is a boy who actually made following the demise of Wafula Chebukati, na alikuwa anasema the only price that Wafula Chebukati had to pay for betraying the electoral system in Kenya is death. and that he's also aware that most of the people, everyone, there is no way out of this life alive, so everyone is going to die. But for him alikuwa anasema Wafula Chebukati alidied, and just to add on that, he said that that wasn't the way that he doesn't feel that that was the only way Wafula Chebukati was to part this life. He was saying that Wafula Chebukati, if possible, angeweza kuteseka kwa akichomeka tu for the longest time possible, so that angekuwa able to feel that kind of pain in most of the Kenyans will go through during the moment he actually made the wrong decision of taking of being compromised and announcing the unexpected, rather the false results of the presidential elections. So most of the people actually felt bitter about it, and that's the reason as to why kumekuwa na quite a number of protests in the recent past. And what I can say about this is that okay, while the family may be mourning at this particular time since they have lost their nearest and dearest, I think it's also good if you get to call a spade, because at the end of the day, if somebody does, there is there's right on the other end and there is wrong on the other end. So you cannot be at the middle. It's either you're right or you're wrong. And if you are wrong, it's good to come out and actually apologize and make some amends with whoever you might have wronged, or apologize to whoever you might have wronged. And if you are also right, you also need to ensure that you don't keep the kind of tactics, or rather the kind of what do I say, strategies that you've applied in life to ensure that you have become successful. You also need to ensure that apart from you becoming successful in whatever craft you've chosen or whatever path you've chosen in life, you also need to ensure that you also teach other people on the good ways that have actually enabled you to soar to certain levels in life, so that everybody can be able to feel inspired by looking at you as a role model in whatever good you've done for the nation or for the people here on earth. And I think that brings us back to the quote that Muhammad Ali, celebrated greatest of all time boxer, said at some point in life. He said that our service to others is the rent that we pay here on earth, nothing else. Our service to others is the rent that we pay here on earth. So it means that in anything good you do it knowing that you are actually impacting the lives of others. Do it knowing that you are actually encouraging those who are looking up to you in the same life path that you've chosen. And in anything bad you do, always be ready to apologize. Always be ready to make amends with those you've wronged. Always be ready to learn anytime you fall. Always be ready to rise from every setback that you face. And I think apart from that, much has been said. But one thing that you need to understand as a human being is that whenever you do something that is wrong, you need to find a way to solve that particular problem. And anytime you do something good, make sure that you also inspire others by teaching them on how to follow the righteous paths in life. You get? So in anything you do, forget about money, forget about all other factors in life. I'm talking about those things that are those what do you call them? The fundamentals of life, or rather the fundamentals to a good life, or rather the fundamentals to a peaceful life, or rather the fundamentals to the life that one can say it's worthy to be lived. Because at the end of the day, people lose money, people lose everything. But one thing that I can assure you that you can lose, but it's going to be very, very difficult for actually to actually recover it, is the trust of the people. Once you lose the trust of the nation, or once you lose the trust of the entire nation, it means that you're destined to doom. And that no matter what kind of problem you're going to face, it doesn't, I don't care the kind of problem that you're actually going to face as an individual. I don't care what you're going to face as a group. As long as you've lost the trust of the nation, it means that you're destined to doom. It means that they're never going to give you any chance whatsoever. They're never going to give you they're never going to spend they're never going to spend even the least amount of time to listen to the kind of ideas that you might have in mind. Remember, you fucked up with their trust. Now they are actually wounded. They don't want to listen to anybody, and it's going to be very, very difficult for them to actually give you another chance, because they're giving you 2 or 3 terms for you to be able to actually sell to them the good ideas you have in life. But anytime you come up with an idea, it fails, and it fails miserably, and it fails without an explanation, because umeshaka kwa mweza ego, pride, umeka pesa, umeka everything. You've put all the roots of evil on the table, and you want to transact it with the trust of the public. That's going to be very, very difficult. So what I can say is that, however, others are calling for respect, arguing that regardless of political differences, death should not be celebrated, and that political analysts and religious leaders have actually urged Kenyans to show compassion and leave judgment to history, because I don't know. But what I can ask, what I'm going to ask the public is that, or rather my audience, is that, is this reaction actually really justified, or is it a reflection of a deeply wounded nation that is actually grappling with the consequences of a controversial election? I don't know. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And I think, if at all you've got some sort of insights you'd like to share with me, I think comment section iko hapo chini. Subscribe and hit that notification bell as well, and stay tuned for more updates. That's all for today.